Ask the question.
What question?
That's number 8.
Why you want me to ask number 8? But I ask.
I don't care.
Me neither.
I am interested in what Marc.
We have Vlad up here, and Vlad.
In this episode, we got Marc Lamont Hill joining Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy on The Breakfast Club. You know, Marc is known as a big liberal, but today he went straight at DJ Khaled, and he even sent some shots to Drake too. He didn't leave him off the hook. He basically said Khaled is the most famous Palestinian that we know, and he's not saying nothing about the people getting bombed. And he basically said that he's soft, that he's a fake, and he's damn near not even moving like a man. And let's remember, this isn't coming from a conservative or someone outside the culture. Marc is as liberal as they come, and even he's fed up with the silence. Let's get into this.
I hate that guy. Go ahead. Jesus Christ, I didn't want that reaction.
All right, well.
Did he have his badge on? All right, look.
Wow.
I know what he said. I watch his show every day.
It was about Khaled and Drake.
I know what he said. I know what he said. It's the one time I agree. I actually hated to agree with it.
Really? Oh, you agree?
That they should say something?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, they should say something.
Really?
If you are, yes, more Khaled than Drake.
Really?
Yeah, more Khaled than Drake.
Why?
Because
They never talk about social issues, ever.
I know, and I have an issue with that. I have an issue with anybody. I don't think every famous person has to say something about everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if your people are being exterminated, if your people are being executed, if your people are being killed, whatever the circumstances, I think you got to say something. He's like damn near the most famous Palestinian in the world. If I were the most famous black person, if any of us were the most famous black person in the world, the most famous black person in the world, and black people were being killed in our country, and nobody said anything, I would be deeply disturbed. I don't know what, and the reason I'm not letting Drake off the hook, you know what I mean? There's plenty of reasons to have issues with Drake. I've had issues with Drake for the last month, but none of them political. It's all about the, stuff, his framing of gender on his album and his treatment of everybody from Halle Berry. We going down this, that's another conversation. But for me, I don't know how Drake identifies in terms of his politics. I don't know how he identifies as a Jewish person. I don't know how he identifies. I know he identifies racially as a black person. And so I don't know how connected he is ethnically, culturally, or politically to that issue. If he is, then he should speak up too. I just don't know Drake's
Vlad
story.
said he had a bar mitzvah when he was of age, and he talks about a lot of it.
But the problem is that argument presumes that because I'm Jewish, I have to be pro-Israel. And there are numerous Jewish people around the world who are Jewish and not pro-Israel. Mm-hmm. I don't think Drake has responsibility to be pro-Israel. I think I'd love for him to say something about it, wherever he stands on this issue. But Khaled, yeah, man, and yeah,
Khaled's none of those things either, though. Khaled's not connected culturally.
I've seen him wear the keffiyeh. I've seen him do stuff.
Yeah? Okay,
I've seen him be outside Palestinian.
Okay.
He don't lead with it because it's not great for business to walk around saying you're Palestinian.
So Marc isn't saying anything crazy. He's just saying, every artist doesn't have to be an activist, and he's just pointing that out. DJ Khaled and Drake, about the whole war that's going on over there. DJ Khaled made most of his money by saying we the best. But yeah, your people are getting bombed and you're not speaking about it. That's part of the problem that Marc Lamont is saying. That especially staying quiet because it's profitable is a problem. Because if you won't speak when it matters, why should anybody listen to you when you're winning?
Someone argued that's a problematic. I'm not here to judge that. All I'm going to say is I would have liked to hear him say something. And the fact that the leading hip-hop cop journalist, Vlad, and I on the same page on this issue should suggest to you how morally egregious it is that he and I are on the same page on this thing.
When they do, though, what? Then what? Like, if they do, then what? Like, what is that?
I mean, I think there's always the question, right? I mean, like, what happens when the NBA speaks out against such and such, right? I do think that there's power in that. Part of it is awareness. There are people who will never watch this video. There are people, and everybody watches The Breakfast Club, but there's people who won't watch The Breakfast Club but will listen to DJ Khaled's Instagram story. Mm-hmm. That's why it matters. It's the same reason why when the NBA players wore hands up, don't shoot, or Black Lives Matter, it mattered because they reached a sector of the world that wouldn't otherwise know that story. When LeBron and D. Wade and Chris Paul said stuff, that shit mattered because people cared.
Right.
You know what I mean? When Beyonce was talking about, and again, I didn't need her to give a press conference, but what Beyonce did was extraordinary given her platform. And so and the difference is there's a lot of black people that can speak. There are a lot of people who are Jewish who can speak. There's lots of people who are Indian who can speak. But how many people in the United States right now who are Palestinian have the platform that Khaled? Maybe Gigi Hadid, maybe who spoke out, right? There's one or two people, but in general, there's not really a space for that. So I mean, it's not just Khaled for me. Any of them who are Palestinian, any of them who have platforms should speak up. And I'm not putting that just on Palestinians. I'm saying that for black folk too. But I'm saying the stakes are even higher because there ain't but 5 Palestinians in Hollywood. You know, there's a million black folk. So I just feel like you got to do it.
I guess if they want to, my thing would be pass the microphone to somebody who knows what they're talking about.
I'd be okay with
I
that.
care about.
I'd be okay with that. If Khaled said, look, I don't know enough about this issue, but I want to bring these people together and make it happen. But he's moving as if it didn't happen. And it's weird to
Or at
me.
least on social media. We don't know what he's doing behind the scenes.
That's fair enough. I'm pretty connected to the Palestinian movement. I ain't heard one person yet say that he's doing something. I ain't heard one. That's not to say he's not. I ain't heard one yet. But again, I'm not Palestinian. It's not my job to tell him what to do with his people or for his people. I'm just saying I share Vlad's disappointment that that I haven't heard anything from Khaled. And social media is reality for a lot of people. Khaled gives us a narrative of his life, what's going on in his world. And if you're selling a product while 2,000 of your people have been killed, 1,500 of your people have been killed, that feels gross to me. It feels a little gross to me. Like even if you didn't want to speak up, if a all black neighborhood got bombed today, and you said I Charlemagne or I Envy don't feel like talking about it, I bet you wouldn't go in your story and be like, yo, check out the trailer for my new documentary today on such and such, or check out my new book. You would have the decency to do nothing. And I'm saying part of what happens is when you move as if nothing is happening while the world is blowing up. I think it communicates even more so that this isn't worth caring about. We already have a media that does that. We already have intellectual infrastructure that does that. We have a legal apparatus that does that. We don't need.
That is a fact. You know, we already have the media downplaying everything, making it seem that it's not as bad as it is. But in reality, when it is, you know, Mark breaks it down perfectly. He's not asking for hero speeches, or he's saying that at the very least, show some decency, show that you care, or that you're willing to learn about something. Like if you won't stand up, don't act like nothing is happening either. And when your Instagram story matters more than 1,000 lives, that says something about your song.
People who look like us doing that. That's all I'm saying. But that's, again, Khaled might disagree, and I would just respectfully disagree.
All right. Well, Marc Lamont Hill.
Yes.
It's the Breakfast Club.
Make sure you go get them books too, man.
Except for Palestine.
That's right.